If you like black beans like I do, then most likely you have a can of these in your pantry right now. So today I want to show you how you can take one can and make it into 3 different delicious, easy, and fast recipes that are also vegan. Let's first make a black bean, quinoa, and kale bowl with mango sauce. You'll first bring 2 cups of water to a boil so that we can make that quinoa. I'm gonna choose to boil it in some veggie broth by just adding 2 teaspoons of veggie bouillon. You can also just keep it with water. I just like the extra flavor it adds to the quinoa. Next, we'll add 1 cup quinoa, and then once it's boiling, we'll reduce the heat and let it simmer and cook for the next 10 to 15 minutes. Next, we'll add about 4 cups of kale to a pan, and even though I bought a bag that's already chopped up, I'm still gonna take off the little stems before I turn everything on. And by 4 cups, it's like 4 handfuls. All right, now we'll add about a half a cup of water just to steam the kale. I'm gonna turn on the heat. We'll let that kind of saute for a couple minutes and then we'll add the spices. Now it is starting to wilt, so let's add in some flavor. It's about a half a teaspoon of smoked paprika and then about a half a teaspoon of garlic powder. I'm just gonna eyeball it. I just wanna make sure everything's kind of covered. And then salt to taste. I'm using light salt here and some pepper. Perfect, everything's wilted down. We're just gonna mix it around, make sure all that water burns off, help to mix all the flavor together, and then we'll turn off the heat. It wilts down so small. Since the pan is still warm, I'm just gonna move the kale off to the side and then add my rinsed and drained can of black beans to the pan so that it gets a little bit warm. Let's start making the sauce by cutting up our mango, the star ingredient. Obviously, the more juicy the mango, the better, but this is what my store had. We'll chop it up into chunks just to put it in our blender. Let's put the mango sauce together by adding your mango, then 1 little garlic clove, or, you know, a little bit of minced garlic there. 1 garlic clove, not too much. Then you'll use 1 tablespoon of tahini. Of course, this is optional. If you're going for low fat, you can definitely leave this out, but it does add a lot of extra creaminess. Just 1 tablespoon is all you need. 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, bring out that flavor. The juice of a lime, and then salt to taste, and be somewhat generous. I'm just adding a little bit right now, and then we'll see how it goes. And you need 1/4 cup of water so that it turns into a sauce. And let's mix it together. Look at that delicious sauce. Now you'll want to taste it. See if you like it. You can add more salt, more sweetness, make it your own. It's really good. It is time to assemble the bowl. You'll add in your quinoa as the base, and the quinoa with veggie broth has a lot of yummy flavor already, so it's great. And we'll add in a big scoop of our can of beans and our greens, and then we'll pour over that sauce. Oh, yum. Okay, it doesn't look that pretty, but it tastes so good. Okay, now we make it look pretty by garnishing with some avocado, some cilantro, and some pepper. See, look how pretty that is. All right, let's try it out. It's fresh. I like that it's not like the typical Mexican black bean recipe. You have the quinoa, the mango sauce, the kale. It's just a different take and a really great way to mix up like your Buddha bowls. So good. Quick warning, black beans, kale, avocados, and mango are all high FODMAP foods. So if you're sensitive to gas and bloating, this might, have some consequences. Hey, real quick, before we move on to the next black bean recipe, have you signed up for my free meal guide? It is a delicious whole food plant-based 1-week meal guide, and I even give you the shopping list. So if you haven't already, make sure to grab it by clicking on the link below. All right, what else should we make with this can of black beans? Let's make hummus. Black bean hummus is even more delicious than the traditional chickpea hummus. Let me show you how easy it is to put together. Plus, this version is oil-free. When you open your can of black beans, make sure to reserve the liquid that's inside when you drain them. So just put a bowl underneath when you drain it, like so. All right, now I'm gonna rinse these off. All right, in your food processor, you will combine the black beans with 1/4 a cup of tahini. Next, you'll add 1 small minced garlic clove and the juice of 1 lime, which is about 2 tablespoons. Next, we'll add in some delicious flavor with 1/4 teaspoon teaspoon of smoked paprika. If you hate the taste of smoked paprika, you do not have to use it, but I think it just adds so much, even just a little bit. Again, totally optional, just a little yummy kick. Not even a kick, it's not spicy, it just has a smoky flavor. Next is a half a teaspoon of salt. I'm using light salt. And of course you could add more to taste if needed. Then we're just gonna sprinkle in some pepper. Next, you'll add anywhere between 2 to 4 tablespoons of that liquid from the can of black beans. So 2 to 4, and this is what we're using instead of oil. 1, 2, I'm gonna do 3 and go from there. All right, let's mix it up. And there we have it. Black bean hummus. It's so easy. I'm gonna grab a little tiny cute little bowl, put the hummus in and some carrots, and we'll try it out. It's not the prettiest thing, but it's good. You can use this, even just mix it in with rice if you want to. There's a lot of flavor. It's so good. And you can add it on top of sandwiches. I mean, pretty much anything you would do with regular hummus, you can do with black bean hummus. It's a smoked paprika that I think makes it really good.
It's chocolate dip.
No, it's hummus.
I need some. I need the carrots. Okay, found the carrots. The same thing. There's no difference. Normal hummus.
Good. Next, let's make some easy, creamy black bean enchiladas. For the basis of the creamy sauce, you're gonna have a can of red enchilada sauce with half a block of firm tofu. I want it to be firm because then it's a little thicker and creamier. If it's silken, it's just a little bit more watery, but it's up to you. If you only have silken, honestly, that will work too. We'll open up our can and dump it in our blender. Then we'll take our half block of tofu and throw it in there. Then we'll add the juice of a lime, and we'll finish it off with spices. So it's 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin, and a half a teaspoon of chili powder. Obviously less if you don't like any spice. All right, let's mix it up. Nice and creamy, look at that. Next, you'll chop a small red onion, and then we'll water saute it. You'll also chop any type of bell pepper if you would like to add to that as well. I'm just gonna finish off my mix of bell peppers that I have here. Nice and small, perfectly diced, and we'll add that. Next, we'll add in a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, a half a teaspoon of cumin, a half a teaspoon of smoked paprika, and a half a teaspoon of salt. You can obviously do less to taste. Then we'll add in 1 cup of corn. I'm using frozen corn here. And then our can of rinsed and drained black beans. Perfect, now we have our filling. So let's mix all that together. And then we take some of our mixture, about half of our mixture, and add it to the filling. Now it's nice and creamy. I'm gonna turn the heat back on a little bit higher. Perfect, now let's assemble our enchiladas. But first, let's preheat our oven. Preheat to 350. All right, we'll first take some of that sauce just to put on the bottom of our pan. And then I only got small tortillas today, but we're gonna work with these. We'll put the filling in the tortillas. These are flour tortillas. Of course you can use corn. I just feel like corn always breaks apart for me. So we're doing flour today. I like the smaller ones too, because then the kids each get one. It feels a little bit more filling instead of having to share one. Each get 1 or 2, depending on the size of the kid. Perfect amount, look at this. That was amazing, amazing. I love it when that happens. Okay, now let's add the sauce on top. I love this sauce because typically enchiladas are made with enchilada sauce and sour cream, but instead of sour cream, we use tofu, which is so much better for you, has tons more protein, and is just as creamy once you blend it. All right, let's cook it. Of course, you always have the option to add in some vegan cheese if you have any, or any other toppings. I'm gonna leave it at this, but that's always an option. And then we'll bake this for 20 to 25 minutes. All right, it is done. That was 25 minutes. Nice and crusted, it looks so good. You'll go ahead and top these enchiladas with anything that you like. Avocados, some more beans, corn, cilantro, tomatoes, and then you'll serve with lime wedges. All right, who's ready for dinner?
Pretty good. Out of 10, I'd say 8.5. It's really good.
Definitely creamy, so good. All right, you ready to try? Oh, is it a little, it's a little spicy? Just a little bit, it's not that spicy, but a little bit good. He said a little bit good. I'll take it. I have a lot of cleaning up to do. But if you like this video, I know that you'll absolutely love my other video where I have more black bean recipes that are just as delicious. So check that one out as well.